culture is capable of normalizing negative vices. Over the years, there has been a growing narrative that the use of drugs is synonymous with celebrity lifestyle and status. Despite warnings about the dangers of drug abuse, it is fast becoming a culture among young people who often are not aware of the real dangers. Tony Alakija is a former journalist and press photographer. Nostalgia is what he feels here, where he was a frequent customer of illicit drug slingers. Tony began using drugs at an early age of 18. He turned 60 in a few days and is thankful for another chance. After above 40 years of being addicted to drugs, Tony almost gave up on life and was on the verge of suicide.
I'm being alive today. I don't know how it came to pass. A few weeks from the day of this recording, I'll be 60 years old. I had friends who died in the same age bracket. I have friends who, after being weaned from drugs, after the normal rehabilitation, they have stroke.
The beginnings of Tony's addiction can be traced to a secluded childhood. As a boy, Tony found solace in literature and was influenced by rock music stars.
There are a lot of things I wish I would have known. That is one of the reasons why I'm even granting this interview, because along the way, there are some questions I would like to ask in the hope that whoever watches this documentary, I may find answers. Because when I say looking back, when I look back at my childhood, I don't know who to blame. Is it myself? Is it my parents? Or let me just give you a clear picture. I came from a family that, well, I would say, well, I live in a cloistered environment, very close environment. I imagine I lived in Ikoyi. My parents are well educated, but I found that during my growing years, we were not always allowed to go out, play with other children in the neighborhood. At the end of the day, I started school. Oh, I want to do this. Don't mind them. You can't mix with those boys. I started wondering why. I love to play football. I love to wrestle. I love to get my feet wet. But I dare not. I have 4 sisters. I'm the only son. Each time daddy drops us in school, it is me and my sisters. At the end of the day, I couldn't play with other children because I don't want my uniform to get dirty. If it's dirty, I am in trouble. At a point, in my primary school days, my classmates, they call me Sissy. I behave like a girl. I do this, I do that. At the end of the day, when I found out, well, I couldn't mix because of my restrictions, I discovered one thing: I love to read. In fact, I started reading as early as 8 years old, because my father was in the media. He had lots of books, and because of my reading, I read a lot of novels and whatever. When people say peer pressure, it wasn't peer pressure, it was out of curiosity or maybe experimenting. I remember the book I read that, made me to be aware of what is called drugs or narcotics. That is Sherlock Holmes by author Conan Doyle. This is a story of a master detective, a there's any crime committed, before he goes about solving this crime problem, he's always on some sort of opium. He gets so high and it's like it's somehow psychic. He is able to unravel this crime. I love that. Later on in secondary school, I read about Samuel Taylor Coleridge. He's a poet. I remember that poem, Rime on the Ancient Mariner. Along the way, I was reading some other things about him. I found that Taylor Coleridge wrote that poem under the influence of opium. And I said to myself, well, if that should be the case, these guys are masters in their own way. I could be like them. I started as early as roughly when I was 18 years old. That was when I started experimenting. The first drug I took was Mandrax in 1977 during Festa. I was able to come in contact with some American stars who came for Festa. There was Dizzy Gillespie. Backstage in 1977, Dizzy Gillespie smokes Indian hemp through a chicken thigh bone. I was happy seeing them. Dizzy Gillespie is a trumpeter, Randy Weston is a pianist. It was at the height of that Festa, drugs spilled into Nigeria, cocaine, heroin. People said that Nigeria was a transit camp. They just come for package and then export. But as the drugs was taking its roots in Nigeria, those days they give us free.